Development Commission (NDDC) as an interventionist commission mandated to pull the Niger Delta region out of the socio-economic, environmental, and political problems that have engulfed the region prior to Nigeria's independence. The Niger Delta Development Commission was established in 2000 with the mission of facilitating the rapid and even and sustainable development of the Niger Delta into a region that is economically prosperous, socially stable, ecologically regenerative, and politically peaceful since its creation. The Commission has indulged in numerous life-changing projects within the region, such as building of roads, bridges, and empowerment programs, amongst other projects. Just recently, the Managing Director of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Dr. Samuel Ogbugu, restated the commitments of the Commission to complete all ongoing projects in the Niger Delta region as directed by President Bola Tinubu. Dr. Ogbugu stated this during a CATS visit by leaders of civil society organizations and human rights groups in the 9 states of the Niger Delta to the Commission's headquarters in Port Harcourt. The question on everybody's lips is, has the NDDC been able to pull the region out of the socio-economic and environmental problems? How has the Commission been able to navigate the regional intricacies towards achieving sustainable development in the region? Let's take a look at what happened at the NDDC headquarters before we continue.
Infrastructural development. We have marching order from Mr. President that we must complete all abandoned projects in the Niger Delta. It is a very, very huge task. Sometimes you look at your back, looking at the enormity of abandoned projects we have. Can you really complete them in 4 years? As much as it is not possible, but we are doing our best. We decided to prioritize most of these projects, looking at how much the NDDC have invested in some of these projects in the past years. We cannot abandon such huge investment. Rather, we want to add value to those investments. Some of these projects we are undertaking that we want them back on to ensure that we complete them. You people have seen the Car-Ataba Bridge, which is almost at the level of 60% completion. It is a project that we are determined to ensure that we commission by the ending of this year, 2025. It is about 1.2 kilometers long, and that project work is ongoing now. CSOs, you can go to check for yourself, and we are determined. The Okrika-Burukuri Bridge we also want to complete as soon as possible. We are also negotiating with the contractors that are holding it on areas of maybe variations and the rest of them, because we realize that the project that was awarded in 2012 and been abandoned over time, and coming to restart such a project, the values can never be the same. We have to renegotiate with some of these contractors to see how they go back on site. But those negotiations are ongoing, and very soon you see the project will start, because the EGP has been working hard back and forth with most of these contractors for us to have a common ground for them to go back to site. The ones who are not willing to go back to site, we're also working towards counseling and rewarding to those who are interested to undertake those projects, where you also equip youths with tools where they can be independent, and not only training them in areas where they will still fall back to society and looking for white-collar jobs. We believe federal, state government, and federal government cannot employ every youth. Let us rather strengthen them and empower them with the tools where they can also have their own businesses and grow from there.
Also help us make sense of this conversation is the State Director of Center for Human Rights and Accountability Network, CHRAN, Otwekong Franklin Isom, who himself, together with other leaders of civil society organizations and human rights groups from the Niger Delta region, recently visited the NDDC headquarters in Port Harcourt. Otwekong Franklin Isom, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure. Good to be here. I think you're looking terrific.
And you're not doing bad.
Terrific.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my pleasure being here with you.
All right, let's have a little peep into some other discussions during the meeting between the NDDC MD as well as the CSOs. What other discussions were within the focus of that particular meeting?
Well, it is good to have a background of what the NDDC is all about, because so many persons have been either misinformed some have even lost hope of the commission. Fortunately for the two of you and for our listeners and viewers, I happen to be among those who advocated for the creation of the NDDC. I recall in the days we used to have OMPADEC, which was established under Decree number 23 of July 1999. The essence of the OMPADEC was meant to, rehabilitate and develop the oil-producing region. OMPADEC is simply Oil Producing Development Commission, OMPADEC. It was more like a political tools, because the military, established the commission as a fallout of, advocacies by late Adakaboro, by the likes of Kesare Wiwa, by the likes of late Harode Depabriye and other minority rights leaders. Unfortunately, I was among those who advocated that the OMPADEC has, lost focus and should be scrapped. And as God will have it, in 1999, we now had democracy. And so we in the South-South region, led by late Chief Harode Depabriye, an elder statesman in the region, and Chief Edwin Clark, came up with a platform called the South-South People's Conference, SOPEC. Okay. And so we used that platform to advocate for the right of the region and for the region to be developed. And then we also called for OMPADEC to be scrapped and should be replaced with more developmental focused commission, NDDC. Okay. And so the advocacy took us for a year. That is from 1999 till 2000, when finally President Obasanjo now conceded to our demands and advocacies, and then forwarded the bill to the National Assembly for the commission to be created. But even though it was politicized, because our focus was for the South-South region, but it now became an oil-producing commission that now brought in 3 other states that are not in the South-South region. That is to say, you now have the Abia, the Imo, and the Ondo brought into add to the 6 oil-producing, to the 6 Niger Delta states. So invariably today, what you are having today is more like an oil-producing commission, not for Niger Delta region. Now, having had this commission from inception in 2000 till date, till the last administration, let me just say so, we have been having people who were appointed as political compensation. They just go mount the commission as board members, as board directors, and the rest. And what they do is to use the platform to begin to muster support and begin to work towards having future political ambition. Okay. So you will see somebody being in the commission and thinking of being, senator, aspiring to be senator. So he will be distracted from development and from the mission and mandate of the commission. So you'll be having that from the day it was established till the last administration. We keep on having that issue. And to even worsen matter, we were initially, when the commission was created, it was under the presidency. So when you see their anywhere you see their banner, or you will see presidency, then you now see the commission, doing any project. But when I think under the Buhari government, he came and took it out from the presidency and then created a ministry called Niger Delta Ministry and appointed a minister to now supervise the activities of the commission. Ever since that time, we have been having issues of, death of development. Okay. You recall when the agency was established, we had the commission going all out to develop things, to work and report to the president directly. But ever since we now had the Niger Delta Commission, you now begin to have politicking, too much of politicking, and which was almost crippling the commission. The former president Muhammadu Buhari, now having seen the death of uncompleted projects spread across the entire region, came up with the forensic audit, which was conducted by the National Assembly, by the presidency. We had proof in the National Assembly. We had proof by the presidency. At the end of the day, today the report we've not seen. But the truth remains that the commission was over politicized. Now, under the president of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a more determined president who is determined to develop the region, he now started engaging stakeholders and started trying to resolve the politics that we are tied, that had tied the commission down from development, and then he appointed men and women who have focus of development. What we used to have is the people who would just go to Abuja and they are appointed, they don't even know the road to the Niger Delta region where they are even representing. But as of today, people who are now there are now people who are from the grassroots. They understand the region. They know the villages, the street, and the state, and the area where they are developing. So, ever since the commission came on board in 2022 till date, they have been working tirelessly to ensure that they give a new facelift for the region. So you can now see transparency in the handling of project and then accountability in what they are doing. What we, the CSOs, have done in the 9 oil producing states that comprise of the commission was to say we have always been standing on the fence and be criticizing and be lambasting and be complaining and be saying the commission didn't do this, didn't do that. Now can we now begin to do constructive engagement to engage the commission and also tell them what the people are saying? Okay. We take these issues as CSOs to them and then see the books of what they have done, records of what they have done. We now appraise them and say, yeah, you have done well. Yeah, you haven't done well. Improve in this area, improve in that area, and then we now begin to embark on project tour to also see what they are doing. Okay. Because when you don't also hold them accountable, whatever they do, they will be one that will appraise themselves and score themselves high. So that is what we have chosen to do as CSOs from the 9 oil producing communities.
So apart from the empowerment program, what other issues was addressed during your visits?
First off is the issue of project and development. We have, like I mentioned, we have several uncompleted projects that we are initiated by past management board of the commission. Okay. How do we go about to completing this project? And these are people-oriented projects. If you just mention any community that is in the oil producing states, you will see one project or the other that was done or initiated by NDDC of the past management that have remained uncompleted. Some of them were just used as a means to siphon the commonwealth of our people. So we decided to now engage the commission and said, we have seen what you have done as a commission, but how do we now improve on what you have done? How do we now begin to take back this project that were initiated by the past administration and then complete them? They also had issues of lack of budget when they came on board, but their budget wasn't approved. So they were working on a dry budget. That is part of what delayed this particular commission's take off. So they were still trying to look for funds. But while waiting and sourcing for funds, they were also being able to carry out other projects like putting up street light, like taking some projects, including renovating of some schools and the rest. And the sole aim of NDDC is human capital development, is building of our roads, building of our schools, providing health care, and then developing the region. So this is what they are doing, and also ensure that there is peace and harmony amongst the oil-producing communities. And the governors of these oil-producing states, by the NDDC Act 2000, are supposed to be advisory board. So the NDDC ought to and should liaise with the governors of these oil-producing states. So you don't have a governor that will sit and the governor intends to do a road, for instance, in Akwa Ibom State. And that same road will also appear in NDDC projects. So you will now have NDDC going to a community to work, and then the government will say, no, this particular project that you want to do is already in our project. So you have the governors now of the 9 oil producing states comprising of the NDDC advisory board. So part of this will also ease the restiveness and ease the tension in the area. Now again, you watch the NDDC, some states where you have the party that is not the party in the center. Yes, and because the NDDC is an agent of the federal government. So you could have a government that is not in the center in some states. How would there be peace? How can that NDDC work with a state government that is not in the center? This very commission had been able to cement that relationship. So you can now have, for instance, you have in Akwa Ibom where you have the PDP state governor. You have the NDDC MD that is appointed by the APC federal government, but they are working and they are having smooth working relationship. Okay. And you have that across the entire region where you have the oil producing states. So this for us is an applause for the new NDDC board. And above all, they are remaining focused on their jobs. They're not aspiring to occupy another office, using the office of the NDDC as a cash cow and as a springboard to aspire for other offices. So they are focusing on how to deliver on the mandate given to them by the commission.
But how can you tell if they won't be aspiring tomorrow?
We are advocates. We are in the media.
Yeah.
If any of them is aspiring, we would have been in the media. We've had someone or some persons who we are appointed. From the day that we are appointed, you started seeing the signs of politicking. All what they are doing becomes more of politics. How will they muster support? How will they garner? How will they be able to get resources to aspire? From the day they are appointed, in fact, their body language will show that that is what they want. And when one such a person is appointed into such an office, which is an agency to intervene and do projects, whatever the person or the persons are doing are completely politicizing, because they must do to score political points. They must be able to do something to attract political points, and there will be more of media hyping, because they want to get media acceptance. They want to gain the people's confidence at all costs, even when they are not doing much. But what we are seeing today is less of the politicking, less of the media hyping, but much of the work done. Okay,
like it's usually said, talk is cheap.
Yep.
And beyond the discussion with the CSOs and roundtable with the CSOs and the NDDC, what other plan does the CSOs have to ensure that the NDDC is not just talking about completion of this project? Because we have some projects as far back as 2000 to 2011 that are still stalled. What is the plan by the CSOs to ensure that the statements are not just made, but the action is also carried out?
First off, the coalition of society groups in the Niger Delta region commend the NDDC for accepting the partnership first, opening their doors and saying, CSOs, come, let's partner. Let us begin to open our books. You can audit us, you can appraise us, criticize us, tell us what we are doing right and what we are doing wrong. This wasn't the same. This wasn't like this in the past. We've made several attempts, several efforts to meet with past, management team of the NDDC, but they've been operating like a secret court. So whatever they do, the public is not being, aware of. All the public is aware of what they want the public to know. But now that they have opened the doors,
this is the first time.
Okay. Since the commission was created in 2000, this is the first time the NDDC is opening its doors and say, come as CSOs. You are critical stakeholders, you are critical voices. Come and criticize us. Okay. This is what we have done. This is where we are. This is where we met this. This is how far we have gone. And then we will now say, this is what you think you should do. This is where you've done well. This is what you haven't done well. Which is what we did during the roundtable discourse. And this will be a continuous engagement. It's not a one-off engagement. Because now that we have been able to have that audience, they also saw us as not being destructive, but constructive in our engagement. Because what do we want? All we want is the region to be developed. That's the truth about it. All we want is the development of the region. All we want is the mandate of the commission to be achieved. And at the end of the day, if they are able to achieve the mandate of the commission, they will be commended, as we commended them so far for what they have done. Okay. That is just what we are saying. So, and by their achievement, the president will be happy for appointing them. Now, if they're not giving us the opportunity to criticize them, who will appraise them? You will hear them saying, we have done, who is to be the one to check what you have done? So they are simply putting exams as scoring themselves. Here we are now to be the one to score.
Okay, would you say that the NDDC is doing well in the area of addressing the environmental challenges of the people in the area of oil pollution here and there?
Well, so far, I think the NDDC under Dr. Samuel Obolo should be commended. I have said before that part of what the NDDC mandate, entails is engagement of the communities. Don't forget that we used to have restiveness in the region. We used to have banditry, militancy, and all of those. When you hear of oil spillage, most of these oil spillages are caused by the oil bunkers who go there to steal from the oil. Now, what the NDDC has been able to do is to begin to engage stakeholders. Every community has a stakeholder. Now, when you can reach him, from him you can reach others. And they have been able to identify these stakeholders and be able to engage them, have regular interface, and then begin to know the challenges and the needs. So you don't go and put a project in an area where it is not needed. So you need to know, for instance, if a community needs healthcare, you go there and you put pipe-borne water. You're not giving them what they need. And so, but when you engage a community, you have a town hall meeting, and they say what they need in this community is pipe-borne water, or is healthcare facility, or is road network. You will now look at these three needs, which one you can do as soon as possible, and do it. So far, there has been peace in the region. And one can attribute it to the NDDC Management Board. You recall that when we had protests about bad governance, you recall the NDDC had to organize a forum at Port Harcourt and engage all stakeholders and talk out the youth of the area from participating in the protest and try to specify, try to engage and discuss issues on how they can be able to develop the area, working with the presidency, because this agency is the federal government agency that intervene on projects. So whatever they do is seen as the hand of Mr. President. Okay. So for me and for us in the CSOs, so far we are satisfied. But just like Oliver Twist will say, we will be asking for more, because the mandate given to them, has said as to what they should do. That's one. Two, the region has enormous challenges that needed to be addressed. And so when you address one, another one will come up. And that's why the agency keep getting funding. As long as their fundings keep coming, they should continue to engage in their jobs and do what they are supposed to be doing. So I will not be here to say they have performed 100%. Okay. But so far, so good. They have been able to justify the funds given to them. And they have been able to, erase that thought that the commission is a political tool, that once you are appointed, you will begin to plan to begin to go to a higher political office, using the office as a cash cow to make resources to plan for your future political ambition, or using the office as a springboard to other offices. Okay. When you go there, you will see the people who go there. I used to live in Port Harcourt when we had the advocacies and got the commission established. You live in Port Harcourt. You can never, if you go to the commission, you will not see much number of people who go there. Okay. But as at the time we went on Tuesday for the visit, the gate of NDDC was like a market square, where you have to truck in there. Those who are looking for jobs, employment, those who are looking for a skill, those who are looking for training, those who are looking for scholarship, those looking for appointment, and the rest. And all these persons will be attended to by the commission. We were there till 8 p.m.
So did the
commission was working till 8 p.m.
During your visit, they broached on the topic of the Ogoni cleanup?
Yep. Now, the Ogoni cleanup issue has been taken over by the presidency. The president had to engage the Ogoni people, the Ogoni leaders. Yes. We used to have a leader from the Ogoni nation, my late friend, late Chief CHRAN. And part of what CHRAN was advocating for, using movement for the participation of Ogoni people, most of was development of the Ogoni area and the Ogoni cleanup. Now, I'm happy that Mr. President has seen the need to engage stakeholders. If you go to Ogoni land, you will weep that a community has been completely, devastated and destroyed by oil activities going on there. But even when they have gotten several court judgment in their favor against the companies who have done this degradation and oil pollution, those companies have not been able to pay those compensations, because those things run in hundreds of millions of dollars. But I'm happy that the president has engaged the Ogoni leaders and is bringing in a new approach into getting the peace returned to the area, because as it stands now, no company can go there to operate. And so the president is engaging stakeholders. Of course, NDDC will be a key player, because part of their duty is to clean up oil spillage in the region.
Okay, let's, as we begin to wind down on the conversation, let's specifically speak towards NDDC's activities. What do you think the people should look forward to, and what should the NDDC be doing, especially in the coming months, as the year, of course, we're already midway in February. What should the NDDC begin to implement, begin to act upon this year?
First off, I will want to say, this is my personal opinion, that the NDDC should, do a safe appraisal. Check yourself. How far have you gone? Have you been able to achieve what you are set out to? Because each budget has its own timeline, its own focus. And so check, have you as a commission been able to achieve what is set out for yourself as a commission? Now, what are the things that are lacking, if there are any? And how can you improve on those areas? Because if I sit here and say this, you should go and build skyscraper, and that wasn't in the budget of the NDDC, I will be making an exorbitant demand. So NDDC should go do a safe appraisal and check themselves and say, this is what we are set out to achieve. In Akwa Ibom, we are supposed to have 10 projects. In the last state, we should also have 20 projects. In Edo State, we should have this. And then begin to check. And again, there should be more of, supervision. Much of when you give out contract for a project, to engage regular supervision to check if the job is being done based on its specifications. Because of what you see, when you see the roads failure, when you see project that has been given that has been given out, being stalled, is because there has not been sufficient supervision. And you can also engage the press. Take the press around and the CSOs. Let them also be able to do on the spot assessment. And do surprise visit to those who are handling contract from the commission. You don't sit and believe because you have awarded contract, the job will be done. They have the contract, has the timeline. No, you go and pay visit and check if what you give out, if it is done based on what was given, and then you follow up to ensure that the job are delivered within record time. Okay. So we need the NDDC to do more of supervision and to do safe appraisal, so that by the time we meet again as CSOs, we would have said yes, this you have been able to achieve or added more things to what we saw when we came to interface with you some few months ago. Okay,
well, Second Franklin Isan, thank you very much for your time. Really an interesting conversation. We look forward to bringing you here some other time.
My pleasure anytime. We are here.
All right, thank you so much for your insights.
Thank you.
It's still Niger Delta today, but before we continue, we'll go on a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.